The Telltale Heart, with a different ending. It is true that I had been, and I am very nervous, but do you really think I am mad? I could see and hear more clearly, not less because of the disease. My hearing, more than anything, was excellent. I could hear all things, things in this world, and things in heaven. I heard many things in hell too, so how can I be mad? See how clearly and calmly I can tell my story. I cannot explain how the idea first came into my head, but once I had thought of the idea, I could not forget it. I had no reason to do it. I was not angry. I loved the old man. He had never hurt me in any way. I didn't want his gold. I think it was his eye. Yes, he had a pale blue eye, the eye of a vulture. Whenever I looked at it, my blood became cold, and so, very slowly, I decided to kill the old man and escape from the eye forever. You're thinking, I know, that I'm mad. But madmen are not clever. And see how cleverly I prepared my plan. Every day that week I was so kind to the old man. And every night of that week, at about midnight, I opened his door very, very quietly. First, I put my dark lantern through the opening door. The lantern was closed, and so no light came out of it, none at all. Then slowly, very slowly, I put my head inside the opening. I took 60 long minutes just to put my head inside. Would a madman have worked so carefully? And when my head was inside the room, I opened the lantern carefully, and a thin ray of light fell onto the vulture eye. But the eye was always closed, so I could not do the work. You see, I did not hate the man. It was only the eye that I hated. On the 8th night, I started opening the door even more carefully. I was feeling calm and strong. There I was, opening his door, and he did not even know that I was there. I almost laughed at the idea. And perhaps at that moment he heard me, because he suddenly moved in his bed, but I did not move away. I knew that he could not see the opening of the door, so I continued pushing it open, slowly and quietly. When my head was in the room, I tried to open the lantern, but my thumb slipped and I made a noise. Immediately, the man sat up in bed and shouted, "Who's there?" I said nothing. For an hour I just stood there, without moving, and he sat in his bed, listening. Then he made a soft noise, a noise which I recognized. It was the noise of terror, the terror of death. I knew the sound because I had made it myself many times, in the deep of the night, when all the world was asleep. I felt sorry for the old man, but I laughed silently. I knew that he had been awake since the first noise, and his fear had grown and grown. Death had entered his room, and now the shadow of death lay all around him. He could neither see me nor hear me, but he could feel me inside his room. I opened the lantern a little, and a thin ray of light fell on his eye. It was open, and as I looked at it, I became angry. I could see it clearly, a horrible, pale blue eye that turned my blood cold. I could see nothing of the man's face or body, just his eye. And then I heard a sound. Hadn't told you that my hearing was excellent? I knew the sound. It was the beating of the old man's heart. It grew louder and quicker. Yes, louder and louder with every minute. The old man's terror must have been very great. And now a new terror came to me. A neighbor might hear the noise of his beating heart. The old man's time had come. I opened the lantern fully and ran into the room. I was definitely decided to kill that old man. So I entered to the room and closed the door, because that noise made me feel that my ears were going to explode. and I was going to cry if that continued. So after making that effort, I entered the room, and the old man was staying looking at me in a threatening way, holding a large knife in his right hand. So I said to the old man, "Put down the knife, don't do anything stupid." And the old man didn't say anything. He looked like a dead man. His gaze left me paralyzed. It wouldn't let me move, but something strange happened. I began to see a light coming out of his eye, and my soul began to lose little by little, and I started dying minute by minute. Before losing me, the old man said a phrase that I would never forget. "It took you a long time. I'll see you in hell." And I began to miss what marked my ending.